Most people think getting business funding is about having good credit and hoping the underwriter woke up on the right side of the bed. That's why two clients with almost identical credit profiles can walk out with completely two different results. One gets $15,000, the other gets $150,000. The difference is not luck, it's understanding the rules the banks actually use behind the scenes. Over the last 5 years, I've submitted thousands of applications across every major bank in the country and deployed over $52 million in funding to small and medium-sized businesses. In this video, I'm going to break down the real approval rules and application sequences we use so you can stop destroying your credit reports and start pulling six-figure funding rounds off the same credit profile. If you're a funding broker or a business owner trying to fund your own company, watch this before you send another application. All right, let's get into it. Quick context so you know I'm not making this up. Over the last 5 years, I've submitted applications to Chase, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, American Express, Truist, Capital One, and a long list of regional and credit unions, and I've watched patterns repeat. Most people think credit score is the whole game. It's not. The credit score is 1/3 of the game. We run everything through what I call our CRD formula: credit, relationships, and deposits. Say it with me: credit, relationships, and deposits. Let me break that down because once you get this, everything else in this video will click into place. First, we're going to talk about credit. Yes, your score matters, but it's more than just the number. You want utilization ideally under 35%, 0 late payments in the last 6 to 12 months, at least 2 years of credit age, and a decent mix of accounts. And then there's inquiries. If you blast 10 applications in 1 week with no plan, you tank your odds before an underwriter even looks at your file. So the credit is how clean is the file, how old it is, and are you behaving like someone who knows what they're doing or someone who's desperate. Second, we're going to talk about relationships. This is where most brokers leave money on the table. Banks look at your history with them. How long has the checking account been active? Is money flowing in and out consistently? Have you been with them for years, or did you just show up yesterday asking for $50,000? I've seen banks approve a 680 with a strong relationship over a 750 that just walked in off the street. The relationship tells the bank, we watched this person handle money for a while. That matters. Then we have number 3, which is going to be deposits. Every bank has some version of internal rating that scores you on things like your average daily balance over the last 60 to 90 days. This is the quiet lever that most people don't even know exists. Same as that credit profile, one person keeps a couple $100 in there, the other keeps a low 5-figure balance sitting with healthy deposits moving through. One person gets $10K, the other person gets $50,000 plus from the same bank. That's not random, that's deposits. So again, every bank you're about to hear me talk about is just reweighing credit, relationships, and deposits differently. Keep CRD in the back of your mind as we go bank by bank. All right, now that you got the framework, let's talk about how the major banks actually behave in the real world, starting with Chase. Chase almost always leads my stacking sequence. Here's why. A lot of people misunderstand their 524 rule. That rule is on the personal side. If you open 5 or more personal accounts in the last 24 months, that can block you from some personal cards, but that doesn't automatically kill your business credit card approvals. Chase will often pull from Experian or TransUnion depending on the product, so knowing which one they're hitting matters when you plan the rest of your sequence. They also heavily weigh relationship. A business checking account, consistent deposit activity, a low 5-figure balance sitting there for 60 to 90 days. I've had deals where the client's credit was solid, but the reason we walked away with a strong 5-figure approval on every first Chase Inc. card was because we, 1, opened the Chase checking account, 2, seasoned it with real deposits, 3, then applied for the card before hitting anywhere else. Most people do the exact opposite. They apply for 5 random banks, get a bunch of inquiries, and then go to Chase. By that point, Chase sees a file that looks desperate, not strong. Next up, we're going to move to American Express. This is usually my second stop in the sequence. Amex primarily pulls Experian. The big hidden gem here is their apply with confidence feature. This lets you see if you're pre-approved without getting a hard inquiry. Always check that first. If you're denied at the pre-approval step, it doesn't smack your report. It doesn't impact your report. Here's the other power play with Amex. Once your client already has a relationship, you can often add more cards without a new hard inquiry. So I like to get them into something like a Delta Gold personal card or a business gold card months before main stacking round. Then we're ready. We go for the Blue Business Plus or Blue Business Cash. Now, it's the same bureau, stronger relationship, often no new hard pull. That's how you quietly stack more limits without hammering the report. Next, we're gonna move to Wells Fargo. They become a lot more relationship heavy over the last couple of years. There are really 2 different games here: the business credit card and the business line of credit. For the business credit card, you usually want at least 60 days of a relationship first before applying. So the play is open the checking account, get deposits flowing in, let it season for about 2 months, then apply for the business card. The business line of credit is completely different. Those tend to be easier to secure with the right banker involved. You don't always need a long prior relationship if you have someone internally who's actually pushing the file. So in a sequence, I'll build a 60-day path for the card, but I'm not afraid to run the line of credit application earlier if I have a strong connection at that branch. Now we're going to move to Bank of America, which is one of the most misunderstood banks in this space. A lot of people think you need big business revenue or they'll never approve you. Not true. What really moves the needle here is relationship. I watch people with genuinely good credit profiles get denied with zero Bank of America history, and I watch clients with similar credit files get 20 to 24K approvals simply because they had a relationship. Here's another important detail though. You can often get 2 business credit cards off of one single inquiry with Bank of America. So once you're in the door, they become incredibly efficient for stacking. Now let's talk about Truist. This bank does not get talked about enough. Truist is always an Equifax pool. That consistency makes routing way easier because you know exactly which bureau is getting hit. I've seen a lot of 15 to 25K approvals from Truist, but almost always when we use a relationship manager to push the application through. Applying online tends to get not so great results, maybe anywhere from 10 to 12K. So I like to place Truist in the middle of the sequence after my highest priority banks before I move into smaller regional banks. Next is Capital One. They run on a sort of 2 and 6 rule, generally 2 Capital One cards max within a 6-month window. And they pull from all 3 bureaus when they underwrite, not just one. One thing you absolutely need to warn clients about is the Capital One Spark Business Credit Card reports to both the personal and also the business side. So when you get somebody this credit card, it's going to report to their personal credit. Limits from Capital One tend to be lower than Chase or Amex, but they're generally easier to get approved for if your client is in the 680 to 720 range with a thinner file. I rarely lead with Capital One, but I do like them as a back-end card to pad the total funding number at the end of the round. Now let's talk about where most brokers just leave real money on the table, and that's regional banks and credit unions. Most people stop at the big names and never go any deeper. Huge mistake. Regional and credit unions often have more flexible underwriting. You can sit down with a banker who looks at the full picture, understands the relationship, and can make a judgment call. Instead of just sending your file through a rigid algorithm, some of these institutions will literally let you walk out with 3 products off of one hard inquiry: a loan, a credit card, and a line of credit, all from one single hard pull. The catch? They vary heavily by state and market. There is no magic national list. The only way you figure out which ones are worth targeting is by submitting a high volume of applications over time and actually tracking the results. That's how we built our internal list of go-to regional and credit unions in different markets. All right. Now you understand the players. Let's talk about what actually makes and breaks a round of funding. The order you apply in matters just as much as where you apply. You cannot fire off 10 applications in a random order and expect a good outcome. That's how people turn a strong profile into a weak one in 48 hours. Here's the sequence we run. Step number 1, we always start with pre-approvals and soft pulls. We start with anything that lets us check offers without adding a hard inquiry, things like American Express Apply with Confidence or other targeted pre-approvals. If they say no, cool, no damage done. Step number 2, we go to existing relationships. Next, we hit the banks where the client already has history, business checking, personal checking after deposits. Remember, CRD, relationships and deposits get rewarded here. Then we move to step number 3, which is our heavy hitters. Now we go after the big boys, the Chase, the Amex, Bank of America, Wells Fargo. This is where a big chunk of your total funding comes from. And then step number 4, regional and credit unions. We close out with our targeted regional and credit unions to squeeze the last bit of juice from the profile, ideally off as few inquiries as possible. And here's the part almost nobody talks about, which is timing. We try to run the full sequence inside a 24 to 72 hour window whenever possible. Why? Because the credit bureaus do not report in real time. I watch the same client, same profile, same banks get a fraction of the funding when we spread the apps over a few weeks or even a month, and significantly more when we compress everything into a tight window and apply round after round. Nothing changes except sequencing and timing. Last piece I want to cover is the bureau targeting strategy. This is the layer that separates people who make real money in the space from everyone else. Different banks pull from different bureaus, and your client scores are almost never identical across Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So if your client has a stronger Experian score, we route them to Experian heavy banks first, Chase, Amex, and others that lean on that bureau. We save the weaker bureaus for banks that are more forgiving overall, or the end of the round where we're just adding a little extra more on top. Most people never do this. They just apply blindly everywhere and hope they get approved. That's exactly why the students who learn this system consistently outperform everyone else who who's running blind applications. So those exact approval requirements and strategies across every major bank that I've learned to deploy over $52 million in funding small businesses. When you combine the right credit profile analysis, the right application sequences, and the right bureau targeting, and the right banking relationships, that's when you start seeing clients funded 100K, 120K, 150K in one single round. Now I go way deeper on the actual fulfillment side of closing these funding deals step by step in the next video. And if you want me and my team to help you build a funding business that operates at a high level, click the first link in the description and book a call. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.